Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, February 26, 2024. Today, I'm going to recap NBA, NHL, college basketball, and MLB spring training from the weekend. Look ahead to everything today. Soccer, golf, NASCAR, American Idol, the South Carolina primary, news and notes, and best bet. NBA is where we'll begin. We will recap the games from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's slate. Friday, Raptors over the Hawks, 123-121. Sixers over the Cavs, 104-97. Rockets over the Suns, 114-110. Clips over the Grizzlies, 101-95. Thunder over the Wizards, 147-106. Heat over the Pelicans, 106-95. Bucks over the T-Wolves, 112-107. Warriors over the Hornets, 97-84. Nuggets over the Blazers, 127-112. Lakers over the Spurs, 123-118. Saturday, Magic over the Pistons, 112-109. Celtics over the Knicks, 116-102. And the T-Wolves over the Nets, 101-86. Sunday, Bucks over the Sixers, 119-98. Suns over the Lakers, 123-113. Pacers over the Mavs, 133-111. Cavs over the Wizards, 114-105. Hawks over the Magic, 109-92. Thunder over the Rockets, 123-110. Bulls over the Pelicans, 114-106. Nuggets over the Warriors, 119-103. Jazz over the Spurs, 128-109. Hornets over the Blazers, 93-80. Kings over the Clippers, 123-107. All right, tonight's game, 7:30. 7 o'clock, you have the Raptors at the Pacers on NBA TV. My line is the Pacers, 8 3/4, total 238 and 13/20. And it is 6.5 and 245.5. Under. 7:30 Pistons Knicks. My line's Knicks 9 3/4, still 229 and 7/20, and it's 11 and 223. Over. 8 o'clock Nets Grizzlies. My line is Nets 3 3/4, still 223 and 17/20. It's 1.5 215.5. Over. And 10 o'clock NBA TV Heat Kings. Mine's the Kings 7.5 to 228.5, and it's 7.5 to 24.5. I love the over. I know Butler's out, but I really like the over in that spot. Now we're gonna go over the NHL games from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's games. Friday, Sabres over the Jackets 2-1, Jets over the Blackhawks 3-2 in OT, Wild over the Oilers 4-2. Saturday, Red Wings over the Blues 6-1. Rangers over the Flyers 2-1. Devils over the Habs 4-3. Lightning over the Islanders 4-2. Panthers over the Caps 4-3. Or 3-4. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 3-2 in OT. Sens over the Golden Knights 4-3 shootout. That's what I was looking at. Leafs over the Avs 4-3. Canucks over the Bruins 3-2 OT. Stars over the Canes 2-1. Flames over the Oilers 6-3. Preds over the Sharks 4-2. Wild over the Kraken 5-2. Kings over the Ducks 3-2 shootout. And then yesterday, Lightning over the Devils 4-1. Pens over the Flyers 7-6. Jackets over the Rangers 4-2. So the Rangers winning streak ends at 10. Sabres over the Hurricanes 3-2 shootout. Red Wings over the Blackhawks 3-2 OT. Jets over the Coyotes 4-3 OT. Preds over the Ducks 4-2. All right, only 4 games tonight. 7 o'clock, Sens, Capitals. This is a pick'em. -110 each way. Over under 6.5, -110 each way. Sens +1.5 is -260. Caps -1.5 is +210. I don't know why this is a pick'em. I like the Caps -110. 8 o'clock, NHL Network, Islanders, Stars. Stars -70, Isles +140, over under 6.5. Overs +104, unders -138. Isles +1.5 is -170. Stars -1.5 is +140. I'm going to do Stars puck line, don't feel good about it though. 9:30 Kings Oilers. Oilers -154, Kings +128, over under 6.5. Overs -118, unders -104. Kings +1.5 is -22. Oilers -1.5 is +50. Over. And then 10 o'clock, Bruins Kraken. Bruins -142, Kraken +118, over under 5.5. Overs -115, unders -105. Bruins -1.5 is +108, Kraken +1.5 is -220. I'm going to go with the over in this one as well. Now we'll go over the college basketball games from the weekend and look ahead to today's slate. Friday, Akron over Kent State, 83-70. Jacksonville over North Florida, 62-50. So best bet was a big fat loser. St. Peter's over Mount St. Mary, 70-65. Marist over Manhattan, 57-50. Rider over Iona, 78-75. Canisius over Niagara, 69-59. Penn over Dartmouth, 82-69. Bowling Green over Toledo, 76-68. Purdue Fort Wayne over Green Bay, 85-59. Cornell over Yale, 65-62. Princeton over Harvard, 66-53. Brown over Columbia, 66-64. Youngstown State over Milwaukee, 84-80 in OT. Fordham over Duquesne, 79-67. Fairfield over Quinnipiac, 85-81. Nevada over San Jose State, 84-63. Saturday notable. Number 2 Houston over number 11 Baylor, 82-76 in overtime. Syracuse over Notre Dame, 88-85. Penn State over Indiana, 83-74. Arkansas over Missouri, 88-73. Number 24 Florida over Vandy, 77-64. Western Carolina over VMI, 84-51. Number 4 Arizona over Washington, 91-75. Number 6 Iowa State over West Virginia, 71-64. Wake Forest upsets number 8 Duke, 83-79. We'll talk about that more in news and notes. Kansas State over number 25 BYU, 84-74. NC State over Boston College, 81-70. Rice over East Carolina, 70-52. Gardner-Webb over UNC Asheville, 78-77. High Point over Charleston Southern, 74-69. Texas State over Georgia State, 68-59. Number 12 Illinois over Iowa, 95-85. St. Bonaventure over UMass, 75-67. Western Michigan over Buffalo, 91-72. TCU over Cincinnati, 75-57. St. Louis over George Washington, 96-91. Sanford over East Tennessee State, 87-71. Number 20 South Carolina over Ole Miss, 72-59. Miami of Ohio over Central Michigan, 88-60. Troy over Yale Monroe, 84-78. Arkansas State over South Alabama, 95-78. Number 10 North Carolina over Virginia's not ranked, 54-44. Number 17 Kentucky over number 13 Alabama, 117-95. That was impressive. UCF over number 23 Texas, 75-61. Georgia Tech over Miami, 80-76. Oklahoma over Oklahoma State, 84-82 in overtime. UTSA over North Texas, 64-62. Abilene Christian beats Grand Canyon 79-73, so much for putting Grand Canyon in my at-large field. Loyola Chicago over George Mason, 80-59. Ohio over Northern Illinois, 80-59. Mercer over UNC Greensboro, 86-72. Oregon State over Stanford, 85-73. James Madison over Georgia Southern, 80-74. McNeese over Carter Word, 87-71. Tarleton State over Cal Baptist, 82-65. Pitt over Vatech, 79-64. Number 9 Kansas over Texas, 86-67. Number 14 Auburn over Georgia, 97-76. Northern Iowa over Drake, 91-77. Georgetown over DePaul, 77-76. Richmond over Davidson, 66-63. Yale over Columbia, 84-76. Princeton over Dartmouth, 68-56. App State over Marshall, 65-58. Brown over Cornell, 78-74. Cal over Oregon, 69-64. Harvard over Penn, 74-70. Southern Miss over Louisiana, 82-71. Old Dominion over Coastal Carolina, 75-59. Boise State over Wyoming, 92-72. Clemson over Florida State, 74-63. Number 1 UConn over Villanova, 78-54. Number 5 Tennessee over Texas A&M, 86-51. Arizona State upsets number 21 Washington State, 73-71. So that was a classic, and I mean classic letdown spot for Wazoo. That would have been a blind Arizona State bet for me. UNLV over number 22 Colorado State, 66-60. Tulsa over Charlotte, 69-67. Indiana State over UIC, 88-73. Seton Hall over Butler, 76-64. Mississippi State over LSU, 87-67. Colorado over Utah, 89-65. Number 18 St. Mary's over San Diego, 88-62. Number 19 San Diego State over Fresno State, 73-41. USC over UCLA, 62-56. Gonzaga over Santa Clara, 94-81. San Fran over Pepperdine, 92-68. Loyola Marymount over Pacific, 86-63. Those are games of note. Sunday. St. John's over number 15, Creighton 80-66 at the Garden. So monster win for St. John's. South Florida over SMU 79-68. Maryland over Rutgers 63-46. LaSalle over Rhode Island 84-61. Wagner over LIU 72-57. Number 3 Purdue over Michigan 84-76. Memphis over FAU 78-74. Southern Illinois over Evansville 65-53. Navy over Holy Cross 76-66. American over Colgate 66-64. BU over Loyola Marymount 82-79 in OT. Bucknell over Army 54-41. Rider over Quinnipiac 88-78. Mount St. Mary's over Iona 72-65. Fairfield over Siena 88-64. Northern Kentucky over IUPUI 80-64. Cleveland State over Robert Morris 73-71. St. Peter's over Marist 69-60. Youngstown State over Green Bay 71-59. Wright State over Oakland 96-75. Milwaukee over Purdue Fort Wayne 96-88. Temple over Wichita State 72-66 in OT. UAB over Tulane 78-67. Ohio State over Michigan State 60-57 on a buzzer beater 3 by Dale Bonner. Big win for the Buckeyes. VC over St. Joe's 73-69. Number 7 Marquette over Xavier 88-64. And Nebraska over Minnesota 73-55. All right. Light window for tonight, only 16 games. 6:30 CBS Sports Network, Drexel, Udell, so some Colonial action tonight. So that's pretty interesting. My number is Delaware by 1, total 140.25, and it's 1.5 and 138.5. Slide over. 7 o'clock in ESPN, Miami at number 10, North Carolina. North Carolina will have a different number next to their name once this game's played. That's Carolina 10.9, total 151 in a fifth, and it's 13.5 and 154.5, so very close. It has to be the under, though. On ESPN2, West Virginia, Kansas State. Wins K-State 8.2 to 141 and 9/10, and it's 9.5 and 142.5. Slightly in West Virginia. Maryland Eastern Shore, SC State 7:30. Maryland's SC State 6.25 to 141 and 9/20, and it is 8.5 and 136.5 over. Delaware State, NC Central. Maryland Central 3.4 to 139 to 10th. And it's 4.5 and 138.5. Slightly in Delaware State. Norfolk State, Morgan State. My line's Norfolk 3 3/4, total 143 and 17/20, and it's 4.5 and 144.5. That's very close, but I'm gonna go slightly in Morgan State. Coppin State, Howard. My line is Howard 14.1, total 140 and 9/10, and it's 12.5 and 138.5. Over. Incarnate Word, Nichols. My line is Nichols 13.7, total 149 and 2/5. It's 8.5 and 144.5. Ooh, I'm gonna lay with Nichols. That's low. Alabama State, Bethune. My line's Bethune 3.7, total 141 and 1/4. And we got. Where's that game? Not posted yet? Okay, Bethune 1.5, total 140 or 138.5. Over. All right, 8 o'clock, Alabama A&M, Florida A&M. My line is Bama A&M 1.2, total 145 and 7/10. And it's 1.5 and 140.5 over. McNeese, Lamar. My line is Lamar as a 7.5 point underdog, total 148, and it's 10.5 and 148.5. So I'm going to take Lamar getting the points. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Houston Christian Mines, Corpus Christi 5.2, total 146 and a tenth. It's 12.5 and 150.5. Oh, that's high. Give me Houston Christian in the points. Texas Southern, Arkansas Pine Bluff at 8:30. My line's Southern 3/10, total 147 and 11/20. And it is 2.5 and 147.5. I'll take Pine Bluff in the points. CBS Sports Arc, UNC Wilmington Campbell. My line is Wilmington 6.9, total 143 and 3/10. And it's 8.5 and 144.5. Slight lean Campbell. Prairie View, Mississippi Valley. My line's Prairie View 6.8, total 139 and 19/20. And it's 9.5 and 135.5. Over. And last but not least, game of the night, 9 o'clock on ESPN, number 11 Baylor, TCU. Mine's TCU 2.7, total 152 and 13/20. And it's 2.5 and 148.5. That is absolutely Vegas knows. And I'm not going to bet it because I have an edge on TCU, but it's a slight edge. But if I had to bet in this game, I would absolutely bet the over. Alrighty. MLB spring training. We will go over the results from the spring training games from the weekend and look ahead to today's slate. So Friday, Rangers over the Royals 5-4, Cubs over the White Sox 8-1, Dodgers over the Padres 4-1, Rockies over the Diamondbacks 3-0. Saturday, Braves over the Rays 6-5, Orioles over the Red Sox 4-3, Yankees over the Tigers 22-10, Marlins over the Cardinals 9-8, Twins over the Pirates 5-3, Phillies over the Blue Jays 14-13, Cardinals over the Mets 10-5, Cubs over the Giants 8-4, Reds over the Guardians 4-0, Rockies over the A's 5-1, White Sox over the Mariners 8-7, Royals over the Rangers 5-4, D-backs over the Rockies 6-2, Dodgers and Angels was a 7-7 tie, Brewers over the Padres 11-7, Astros over the Nationals 4-1. And then yesterday, Orioles over the Pirates 2-0, Phillies over the Yankees 4-0, Yankees over the Blue Jays 12-6, Red Sox over the Braves 5-4, Tigers Rays 9-9 tie, Red Sox over the Twins 8-6, Cardinals over the Astros 3-0, Mets over the Astros 3-1, Nats over the Marlins 6-3, Reds over the Angels 9-4, Dodgers over the A's 4-2, Padres over the Cubs 7-0, Giants Rangers was a 0-0 tie, D-backs over the White Sox 5-0, Guardians over the Mariners 8-4, Rockies over the Brewers 10-3, and the Royals over the Angels 1-0. All right, today's spring training games, 1 o'clock, Twins Yankees, Orioles Braves, Astros Tigers, Mets Nationals, Phillies Red Sox, Rays Orioles, Pirates Blue Jays, Cardinals Marlins, 3 o'clock Angels Giants, D-backs A's, Cubs Royals, Mariners Reds, Rangers White Sox, Reds Brewers, Guardians Padres, I misread that, sorry, and Dodgers Rockies. It feels like everybody's playing tomorrow. All right, now we'll go over the soccer from the weekend. And I apologize, guys. We did not do MLS on the show on Friday, and I wanted to go over that slate, but I just forgot. And the MLS predictions show will be posted hopefully soon. So we're going to start with MLS. So, Saturday, Columbus over Atlanta 1-0, LAFC over Seattle 2-1, Charlotte over NYCFC 1-0, DC United over New England 3-1, Orlando CF Montreal 0-0 draw, Philly Chicago 2-2 draw, Minnesota over Austin 2-1, Dallas over San Jose 2-1, Houston KC 1-1 draw, St. Louis over Salt Lake 1-1 draw, Portland over Colorado 4-1, and then yesterday, a pair of 0-0 draws, Cincinnati, Toronto, and Nashville Red Bulls. And at the time of recording, LA Galaxy and Miami 0-0 as well. So the Carabao Cup final was over the weekend, and Liverpool defeats Chelsea 1-0 in additional extra time on a goal by Virgil van Dijk in the 118th minute. So that is a great win for Liverpool and a crushing defeat for Chelsea. La Liga. Friday, Villarreal over Real Sociedad 3-1. Saturday, Granada-Valencia was postponed. Barcelona over Getafe 4-0. Alaves-Mallorca 1-1 draw. Almeria-Atletico 2-2 draw. And then yesterday, Cadiz-Celta Vigo 2-2 draw. Betis over Athletic 3-1. Las Palmas-Osasuna 1-1 draw. Real Madrid over Sevilla 1-0. And today, 3 o'clock, you have Girona-Rayo. Interesting match. Girona minus 175, Rayo plus 460. The draw is 3-1. I like under 2.5 goals at plus 114. Bundesliga, Friday. Leverkusen over Mainz 2-1. Saturday, Union Berlin, Heidenheim 2-2 draw. Gladbach over Bochum 5-2. Stuttgart, Cologne 1-1 draw. Bremen, Darmstadt 1-1 draw. Bayern over RP Leipzig 2-1. And then yesterday, Frankfurt, Wolfsburg 2-2 draw. Hoffenheim over Dortmund 3-2. And Augsburg over Freiburg 2-1. Premier League, Friday, Chelsea and Tottenham was postponed. That's because of the Carabao Cup. And then Chelsea had Champions League as well. So they had a lot going on. Saturday, Aston Villa over Nottingham Forest 4-2. Brighton, Everton 1-1 draw. Crystal Palace over Burnley 3-0. Fulham over Man United 2-1. Man City over Bournemouth 1-0. Arsenal over Newcastle 4-1. And then yesterday, Wolves over Sheffield United 1-0. And then today, 3 o'clock, you have West Ham and Brentford. West Ham plus 150, Brentford plus 175. The draw is plus 250. Brentford right now is in 15th. And West Ham is in 10th. These two teams are not far apart from each other. I'm going to take the draw plus 250. Serie A. Friday, Bologna over Verona 2-0. Saturday, Empoli over Sassuolo 3-2. Monza over Salernitana 2-0. Genoa over Udinese 2-0. Sunday, Juventus over Frosinone 3-2. Cagliari, Napoli 1-1 draw. Inter Milan over Lecce 4-0. Milan, Atalanta 1-1 draw. Today, 12:30 at AS Roma in Torino. Roma minus 105, Torino plus 330. The draw is plus 210. Roma's in 6th. Torino is in 10th. I think one team is significantly better than the other. We go with Roma minus 105. And then Fiorentina and Lazio. Fiorentina plus 135, Lazio plus 220, and the draw is 2-1. Fiorentina right now is in 8th. And Lazio is in 7th. These two teams are pretty close, so I'm going to go with the draw 2-1. Liga MX. Friday, Querétaro over Playable 2-0. Necaxa Pachuca 1-1 draw. Monterrey over Juarez 3-0. Saturday, Leon over Athletic St. Louis 1-0. Tigres Atlas 1-1 draw. Guadalajara over UNAM 3-1. America over Cruz Azul 1-0. Sunday, Toluca over Tijuana 2-0. And Santos over Mazatlan 1-0. No games today for La Liga. Or Liga MX, by mistake. League 1. Friday, Lyon over Mets 2-1. Saturday, Nantes over Lorient 1-0. Brest over Strasbourg 3-0. Sunday, Monaco over Lens 3-2. Reims over Le Havre AC 2-1. Nice Clermont-Foot 0-0 draw. Toulouse over Lille 3-1. PSG Rennes 1-1 draw. And Marseille over Montpellier 4-1. No games today in League 1. Dutch Eredivisie. Friday, FC Utrecht over Heracles 1-0. Saturday, Fortuna over KC Waldwick 1-0. PSV over PC Zwolle 7-1. NEC over Sparta 2-0. Sunday, Vitesse over Excelsior 2-1. Feyenoord over Almere City 2-0. FC 20 over Go Ahead Eagles 3-0. AZ Alkmaar over Ajax 2-0. Heerenveen over FC Volendam 4-0. Saudi Pro League. Friday, Al Riyadh and Al Raid 1-1 draw. Al Tawoun over Al Akdod 3-1. Al Fateh Damek 1-1 draw. Saturday, Al Ali over Al Tai 4-1. Al Hazim and Al Khalij is 1-1 draw. And then yesterday, Al Faya over Abba 3-2. And Al Nasser over Al Shabab 3-2. All right, 2 games today, 9 a.m. You have Al Ittifaq and Al Hilal. I don't see betting lines for that one. I'm going to say Al Hilal, and then noon Al Ittihad and Al Wada. Al Ittihad should win that one. Women's Gold Cup. Friday, Mexico over Dominican Republic 8-0. USA over Argentina 4-0. Saturday, Puerto Rico over Panama 2-1. Brazil over Colombia 1-0. Canada over Paraguay 4-0. Costa Rica over El Salvador 2-0. And then 2 games tonight. Argentina and Dominican Republic. That should be Argentina's. And then a big one is U.S.-Mexico. And I think that will be USA's to win. And then the last league, or we have 2 leagues to go over. ELC from the weekend. Friday, Preston over Coventry 3-0. Leeds over Leicester 3-1. Saturday, Hull West Brom 1-1 draw. Blackburn over City 1-1 draw. Cardiff over Stoke 2-1. Ipswich over Birmingham 3-1. Plymouth over Borough 2-0. QPR over Rotherham 2-1. Sheffield Wednesday over Bristol City 2-1. Millwall over Southampton 2-1. Swansea over Sunderland 2-1. Huddersfield over Watford 2-1. So that's 5 2-1 scores in a row. And then the Scottish Premiership. Saturday, Hibernian over Dundee 2-1. Kilmarnock over Aberdeen 2-0. Rangers over Hearts 5-0. Ross County over Livingston 3-2. St. Marion over St. Johnstone 2-0. And then yesterday, Celtic over Motherwell 3-1. Okay, now we'll go on the golf. We will go over the results from the Mexico Championship. Your winner with a score of 19 under. Jake Knapp. Second, 17 under. Sammy Valimaki. Tie for third with 14 under. Justin Lara, Stefan Yeager, C.T. Pond. Tie for sixth with 13 under. Patrick Rogers and Robert McIntyre. Tie for eighth with 12 under. Andrew Novak, Doug Gim, Evan Van Rooyen, Carson Young, and Chan Kim. Tie for 13th with 11 under. Brandon Wu, who is my pick. Tony Finau, Matt McNeely, Henrik Norlander, Ben Silverman, and Alvaro Ortiz. Tied for 19th with 10 under. Keith Mitchell, Matt Trainer, Grayson Sieg, Aaron Ray, and Jorge Campillo. Tied for 24th with 9 under. Cam Champ, Alex Baddeley, Dylan Wu, Stuart McDonald, Nicholas Echevarria, Davis Thompson, Jason Hadley, Parker Cootie, and Chandler Phillips. Tied for 33rd with 8 under. Chad Ramey, Harry Hall, Emiliano Grillo, Matt Wallace, James Hahn. Tied for 38th with 7 under. Austin Eckroat, Wilson Furr, Joseph Brumlett, Ryan McCormick, Jimmy Stanger, Rafael Campos, Hayden Springer, and Kevin Doherty. Tied for 46 with 6 under. Santiago de la Fuente and Thorjorn Olsen. Tied for 48th with 5 under. Lucas Griffin, Mark Hubbard, Cristobal del Solar, and Rio Hisatune. Tied for 52nd with 4 under. Nicholas Hojard, Victor Perez, Ryan Palmer, Pritchard Harrington, Austin Smotherman, and Yachun Yuan. Tied for 58th with 3 under. Eric Barnes and Trey Merritt. Tied for 60th with 1 under. Robbie Shelton, Jonathan Vegas, Grayson Higo, Ryan Moore, and Trace Crow. We're going to do notables now. 65th with 6 over. MJ Doffe, and then cut. Ben Taylor, Paul Borgen, Alexander Zork, Alex Smalley, Nate Lashley, Matthew Neesmith, Patton Kazir, Victor Norman, Charlie Hoffman, J.B. Holmes, Tyson Alexander, Davis Lipsky, S.H. Kim, Michael Kim, Scott Slings, Chester V, Harrison Endicott, Vincent White, K.H. Lee, Ryan Fox, Scott Stevens, Roger Sloan, Kevin Chappell, Taylor Pendress, J.J. Spawn, Scott Piercy, Tyler Duncan, Callum Tarrant, Robert Brem, Thomas Dietrich, Mackenzie Hughes, and then withdrawing a couple. Chris Goddard, Ben Colts, Pearson Cootie, and Max Gracerman. Okay, now we'll move on to NASCAR from the weekend. We'll go over the results from the weekend's races in Atlanta. We'll start with trucks, which was yesterday afternoon. Your winner of the race, Kyle Busch. Second, Ty Majeski. He was my pick to win the race last week. Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, Nick Sanchez, Caden Honeycutt, Tanner Ankrum, Raja Caruth, Daniel Dye, Dean Thompson, Ben Holmes, Wallace Allen, Matt Crafton, Ty Dillon, Chase Purdy, Jake Garcia, Colby Howard, Timmy Hill, Tanner Gray, Mason Massey, Keith McGee, Spencer Boyd, Stuart Friesen, Mason Maggio, Grant Effendry, Troy Moffitt, Matt Mills, Ben Rhodes, Connor Jones, Bailey Curry, Jack Wood, Christian X, and Lane Riggs. Xfinity from Atlanta. Your winner was Austin Hill, so back-to-back wins for Austin Hill to start the year. He got off to a good start last year, too. Chandler Smith, second. Shane Van Gisbergen, third. Sheldon Creed, fourth. Parker Retzlaff, fifth. Sixth was Jeremy Clements. Seventh, Anthony Alfredo. Eighth, Jeremy Earnhardt. Ninth, Ryan Truex. 10th, Sammy Smith. The rest, Sam Meyer. Jesse Love, who raced well last week. AJ Allmendinger, Brandon Jones. Riley Herbst, Cole Custer. Kyle Weatherman, BJ McGlade. Parker Klickerman, Brendan Poole. Leyland Honeyman. Ryan Sieg. Jeb Burton. JJ Yilley, Ryan Ellis. Nick Leitz, Haley Deegan, Justin Algier, Joey Gase, Blaine Perkins, Dawson Cram, John Hunter Nemechek, Patrick Emerling, Garrett Smithley, CJ McLaughlin, Kyle Sieg, Josh Williams, and Jordan Anderson. And then the Cup Series. Your winner of the race. How about this? Daniel Suarez, so congrats to him. That's exciting. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace is your top five. Sixth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Seventh, Ross Chastain. Eighth, Michael McDowell. Ninth, Chris Buescher. 10th, Ty Gibbs. So that's a interesting top 10. The rest, Harrison Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Corey LaJoie, Kaz Gralla, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, William Byron, Daniel Hemrick, Carson Hocevar, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, B.J. McLeod, Eric Jones, Todd Gilliland, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Chris Bell, Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, and Josh Williams. So next week they're in Vegas. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it should be fun. Now we'll talk about last night's episode of American Idol. It was another great show, as it always is. First audition, a girl named Haley Mia, 16 years old, from Clifton, New Jersey, performing Katy Perry's song called Rise. She got 3 S's in. She was outstanding. Dawson Slade, 17, from Moulton, Alabama, performs I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. And then he also performed Somebody Else Will by Justin Moore. Lionel gave him a no, but the other 2 gave him a yes. And then came a girl named Naya, 27 years old, from Manhattan, originally from Florida. She performed Wait a Minute by Willow. She got 3 S's. Then was a gentleman, Colescott Rubin, 27 years old, from Portland, performing an original My Peanut Butter Baby. he was awful. It was the biggest LOL of an audition I've seen since the golden days of Randy Paul and Simon. They haven't had one of those in a long time. And then there's a girl named Sharia Jha, 16. She got 3 no's. Then there was a gentleman, Noah Peter, 24 years old, from Charleston, Tennessee, performing I Won't Let Go by Rascal Flatts. And then Colin Stogg from last year made an appearance. And Noah Peter's a barber. And he's known for cutting hair while singing. And then Colin Stogg got a haircut while they sang Chris Stapleton's Broken Halos. Noah Peter gets 3 S's. A young girl, Emmy Russell, 24 years old, from Nashville, performing an original called Skinny. Her grandmother was a country singer. She got 3 S's. Then there's Ziggy, 22 years old, from the Netherlands. Ziggy performed A Million Reasons by Lady Gaga, and Ziggy got 3 S's, and I wasn't a big fan of Ziggy. Not my favorite, but Ziggy got 3 S's in. Justice Murphy, 21, from Forest City, Arkansas, Summertime by Fantasia, 3 S's in. There's a girl named Katie Richens, 20 years old, from Hennepin, Utah, performing Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan. She got 3 S's in. Then they showed a gentleman, John Lindsley, 29, of Waco, Texas, performing Shot by the Isley Brothers. It was just kind of an LOL performance. He got 3 no's. Predictable. A young girl, Abby Blake, 25 years old, from Nashville, originally from Minnesota, performing What About Us by Pink. Katie gave her a no. That's why I'm concerned about her long term on the show. But the story here is the friend she brought with her, Sam Kelly Cohen, otherwise known as Keiko, 23 years old, from Fort Lauderdale, and he performed an original called Time of Your Life. And he wasn't there to audition. He was there to be with Abby. And then they thought he was so good that they gave him 3 S's in the Hollywood. Like, it was just an unexpected moment for the young guy. And guess what? He's going to go further in the show than Abby. And we're going to see something similar. I remember it was a 2 set of siblings. Or was it a boyfriend and a girlfriend? I think it was the COVID season. There was a boyfriend and a girlfriend. The boyfriend went way longer. And Katie gave the girl no. And Katie was not a fan of the girl, but loved the guy. And the guy went, I think, all the way to, I think he was in, the top 4, if I'm not mistaken. And then the best performance I've seen in an audition, perhaps ever, and I've watched Idol for a long time. A young girl, Abby Carter, 21 years old, from Indio, California, performing What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish on the piano. She got 3 S's in the Hollywood, obviously. And at the end of the show, they saw her performing in the downtown area. And then the mayor of the town was there. And they said, we have a surprise for you. And sure enough, she gets the platinum ticket. And deservingly so. Because that's how amazing this young girl was. She deserved the platinum ticket on this episode. I think this girl can absolutely win. And I think Sam, a.k.a. Keiko, can win. I think Emmy Russell's a little too shy. And she isn't a strong... I mean, she can sing, but, I think that she has room for growth. But Abby Carter blows her out of the water. And then from the first episode, I think Maggie Iyer can absolutely win. McKenna Breinholt can absolutely win. She's the girl that the birth family surprised her at the audition. Odell Bunton Jr. got the platinum ticket in the first episode, but I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's good enough. But yeah, I think the best man we saw so far was Sam, and the best lady we saw so far was Abby Carter. Not Abby Blake, Abby Carter. So, looking forward to Idol next week. Now we have to talk about something we forgot to address on the podcast on Friday, and that's the South Carolina primary. We should not be surprised of how this played out. So South Carolina obviously took place yesterday. So Trump beats Nikki Haley 59.8 to 39.5. Trump gets 47 delegates, Haley 3 delegates. So right now Trump has 107. And Haley has 17. I think you need 1,250 to win. So Tuesday we have Michigan. Primary. And then we have the caucus on the 2nd. And then DC's from the 1st to the 3rd. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be absolutely busy with the primaries over the next couple of days. And here's something interesting I just rung up. New Jersey lost 40 of its delegates for holding its primary after May 31st. That's ridiculous. And why isn't Montana, New Mexico, and South Dakota dinged for it too? That's ridiculous. But it's going to be interesting. But I think it's a matter of when, not if, Nikki Haley's going to drop. And I saw breaking news on the ticker before American Idol last night, and it said Nikki Haley, and I thought it says withdraws, but it said vows to remain in the race. And I was just like, how is that breaking news? Like, I gotta be honest, I'd be surprised if she is not withdrawn before the Georgia, Hawaii, Mississippi, and Washington primaries on March 12th. I think after the Super Tuesday, and after she realizes how bad she's getting killed by Donald Trump, she'll drop. It's a matter of when, not if. And the funny thing about South Carolina is that some of the big city areas actually, Haley won a couple of those, like Charleston and Columbia. So that's pretty interesting that Haley won like those areas, like in the southeast portion of South Carolina, and then Columbia. So that's something to point out. All right, news and notes. We have a lot of stuff to get to from the weekend. We're going to do rapid fire. Caleb Williams not throwing at the combine, as he will wait until his pro day to throw and work out. That's according to Jordan Schultz. Shohei Ohtani to make his spring training debut with the Dodgers on Tuesday against the White Sox, so that's awesome. JD Martinez rejected the San Francisco Giants offer. San Fran moved on to Jorge Soler after Martinez didn't want to go there. Why? Because he wants to go to a home run friendly park. That's why. Former Villanova head coach Jay Wright out on Ohio State job. He says he's definitely done coaching. St. John's had the whiteout at the Garden yesterday, and Rick Pitino wore an all-white suit. The Maryland Terps add a jersey patch to honor late Hall of Fame coach Lefty Dreisel for the rest of the season. So, that's really nice. So the big story in the Duke game from the weekend is that Kyle Filipowski, during the court storming, collided with a Wake Forest fan and suffered an injury. And then John Shire calls for court storm ban after Filipowski sprained his ankle. And then Kyle Filipowski believes that the Wake Forest fans tried to hurt him. I don't blame him for thinking that. I kind of do think that fans can be that stupid sometimes. And I don't blame him for thinking that. Because sometimes, like, when I'm watching the court storms, especially that one, and they kept showing it on TV, and it looked intentional in a weird way. Wake Forest Athletic Director John Curry says something must be done about fans storming court after Filipowski's injury. LeBron James is 74 points away from 40,000. So that's something to keep an eye out for. The Pelicans social media team trolled Stephen A. Smith after he criticized Zion. Jimmy Butler suspended 1 game. Najee Marshall and Nikola Jovic also among players suspended after the Heat Pelicans alteration. And then Jimmy Butler wasn't worried. Quinn Snyder got ejected as he went off at the ref the other night. Pat Beverly, man, he went at Chris Finch. You know what he called him? A sore loser after post-game snub. Oh my God. Like, shut your mouth, Pat Beverly. And then Jimmy Butler, after a suspension, referenced the Bad Boys movie. There was a fight involving Cam Newton that went viral as he appears to be in an altercation at his 7-on-7 tournament. That's according to TMZ. Trae Young, having finger surgery, will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Kodai Senga likely out a month as the Mets are to take things slow with his shoulder injury. We talked about that the other day. Cody Bellinger back to the Cubs, 3 years, $80 million. Not surprised about that, but the funny thing is that Jeff Passage shouts out a fan as he gave a fan credit for calling the Bellinger deal. This lady, Lisa, I heard that they signed Bellinger just now from a good friend who's in Arizona right now, but can't find anything online about it. Have you heard anything? And this was at 4:02 p.m. I don't know if that's Eastern time or Pacific time or what time. And then Jeff Passan in the middle of the night goes, Lisa was right. So that's really funny. How about this? The Chargers, Khalil Mack might be available. Teams are eyeing Khalil Mack trade. 17 sacks last year. I predicted that Khalil Mack was going to get traded. I just forgot what team I had him going to. It wasn't the Steelers. I had Jalen Ramsey to the Steelers. I think I had Khalil Mack to the I want to say it was the Eagles or somebody like that. I knew it was somebody good. Or somebody that might be good. Eric Bieniemy says I was not fired as he clarifies he chose not to stay with the Commanders. Okay. I somewhat believe him. Russell Wilson may take a huge discount as he could take veterans minimum if he's cut by the Broncos. Jason Kelsey, I'm sure on future, as he is undecided if he'll retire, but is staying in shape in case he'll play again. I thought it was reported he was retiring, so that's interesting. The Cincinnati Bengals are tagging T. Higgins as they informed him he'll be receiving the franchise tag. That's not surprising. I predicted that. And his tag is worth $21.8 million and expected to be fully guaranteed. The Saints are restructuring the Derek Carr deal as they're expected to save $23 million in cap relief with the move. The Dolphins making some cuts. Emmanuel Ogbah will be cut. 6.5 sacks in the last 2 years. $65 million they paid him. That's crazy. And then the Dolphins got Xavier Howard and is expected to have significant interest. That's not stunning. I said that the Dolphins were going to cut not a lot, but some monster names. I thought Xavier Howard was in play for a cutter trade. I predicted a Ramsey trade. Ogbah's not qualified for what my prediction was. People like Howard were, and Bradley Chubb and Tyreek, maybe. Not that they would do that. But yeah, I thought Howard was certainly in play. And then we didn't even talk about the fact that UCLA hired Eric Bieniemy to be their offensive coordinator and associate head coach. So that's why I brought up Bieniemy with the Commanders earlier. And then the Warriors pay Steve Kerr 2 years, $35 million. Highest paid NBA head coach ever. Does he deserve that? That's what 4 championships do. But he's not the best coach in the NBA. That's Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, he deserved a contract extension, but I don't think he should be making more than Eric Spoelstra. The NFL's salary cap to be $255.4 million, as it's a record-breaking number, is $30 million increase from last season. So that's great for teams that need cap room. So a judge suspends NIL rules as court grants injunction to freeze NCAA's NIL rules. So that's interesting. Travis Hunter confirms he'll be in EA's college football game, so that's not surprising. No substantial Dak talks, as the reps haven't discussed specifics for long-term extension with the Cowboys. So that's something to keep an eye on, obviously. And how about this? The Thunder waive Alexej Pukusevi. So let's see if Poku gets picked up anywhere else. He obviously was not a first-round pick that worked out for the Thunder like others have. But passing on Şengün might be one of the bigger misses for the Thunder. And if the Thunder don't win the title in this SGA era, that missed pick, them passing on Şengün, or moving up heaven and earth to get Osemi Jang, that was ridiculous. But yeah, a couple of those moves to draft other guys, and then missing on Poku, obviously. It's not as disastrous as the Trey Lance pick with the 49ers, but it's a discussion worth having with OKC and some of those missed draft picks and missed opportunities for getting other guys to win a title with its current core of players. So there you have it for the news and notes.